Hey, don't forget, like, subscribe, and with two friends talking. We're not giving medical advice. Oh, Wellness Week. Magnus, I was at a diner recently. I'm always at a diner. Magnus, how you doing, by the way?
Good. How are you, Anthony?
Good. By the way, in Cali, because you're in California, I'm in Jersey.
Yeah.
Do you guys have diners out there?
Yeah. I mean, there we probably don't have as many as on the East Coast, and it kind of depends on where you're at too. I mean, we have kind of an old school diner close to us that we used to go to a lot. It was actually I found that out when a couple of friends were visiting, so we ate there. We've been eating there a bunch of times, and we're kind of annoyed because they have like they're so much different from like breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Right.
whatever you kind of feel like eating.
Yeah, I mean, it might sound like a dumb question, but I mean, Jersey is a very, especially northern New Jersey, is a very
Yeah,
diner heavy culture. Literally, like every 10 minutes, there's a new diner, or every like 5 miles, there's a new diner.
yeah,
So, I mean, I know California obviously has a diner somewhere in the state, but okay.
yeah,
So I was thinking about this because I was like, you know what? I love diners. I eat at diners all the time. But at diners, I mean, diners could be a problem if you're eating at diners a lot if you don't choose the right foods. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a little conversation about how to make it through a diner and not kill yourself
yeah,
eating crap. I mean, for starters, I drink water. What about
yep.
you?
That's the easiest. That's kind of one of the easiest hacks when you go out. Stick to water,
Right.
and because then you like skipping out on the liquid calories, which is usually like if you're trying to lose weight, it's just one of the biggest kind of waste of calories to start out with.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, again, we're just talking. We're not giving medical advice. Always check with healthcare professionals. But the other thing I was going to say is I try to get baked or grilled foods. I stay away from anything fried.
Yeah,
Frying is the devil. That's another hack of mine.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like no like breaded and fried stuff.
no.
Avoid that for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, Usually, I mean, if you're out, I usually recommend people eating more like fish or seafood compared if
Right.
they're okay. Then maybe heavy meats, but it depends. I mean, like if you can get some quality like red meat steak or something like that, then go for it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good like steak. The unfortunate part with a lot of diners is that you don't get high quality steak.
Right. Yeah, or fish either. A lot of
Yeah,
it's not organic. But like for me, for instance, when I go to the diner, okay, like I'm kind of almost embarrassed to say, I go to the diners morning, noon, and night for God. I mean, really, because I'm a
yeah,
DJ, and especially like at night. Which anyway, so what I'll do is, for instance, like I just recently I went to the diner at like midnight to get food, and so I go in there and of course get here's my hack. So I get water. I wanted a hamburger. I'm not gonna eat a hamburger because it's shit meat. But so I got you'll get a turkey burger,
yeah,
and then instead of French fries, I'll get a baked potato or sautéed broccoli.
yeah.
So it's pretty healthy, and
That
diners have healthy meals, folks. I mean,
yeah.
and I felt just as good. Is a turkey burger the utmost best thing you could eat? No, but it's better than a shit hamburger.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's like, um, yeah, I mean, if you eat out a lot, you definitely need to kind of figure that out. If you eat out like once in a while, like me, I usually cook most of my meals at home or bring lunch with me when I work. So I definitely like I can eat that hamburger without feeling too guilty, right?
Right.
But if you're eating out a lot, I mean, your hacks are awesome. Like taking a baked potato, so
Over the French
instead of
fries.
instead of French fries, for sure, if you want a carb source, that's excellent. And then or swap it out for a salad, like
Right.
have a side salad or something like that, and eat that. That's usually what I do and what I try to recommend people when they're out. Like try to get your greens and fibers and try to get your protein. That is kind of the basic to it that you need to stick to,
Right.
and don't go overboard and order like five different things either. I
Yeah.
mean, there's like, oh, okay, we need to have a starter, we need to have this, we need to have that, we need to have dessert. I
Mhm.
mean, Yeah, I get it. If you go out and celebrate and want to eat something, that's fine. But like for like everyday diners, like a meal, yeah, try to go a little bit easy.
Yeah,
Don't overeat, you
yeah.
know,
Good.
and also eat kind of like slow down. Don't stress because you're in a restaurant. Everything has to go fast. Like if you
Right.
have the time, sit down, chew your food,
Yeah.
and relax.
Yeah. I mean, I would say also have a plan before you walk into the diner door. Say, okay, I'm going to
Yeah,
order water. I'm not going to order Diet Coke or soda. I'm going to order, something healthy. Even if you fail, at least have a plan going in. By the way, for breakfast, when I go to the diner, I'll do oatmeal, or
yep,
I'll do eggs.
yep,
But again, I'm not drinking my calories. I have a water. I have a coffee black, no sugar at all ever, or coffee with maybe cream, but again, no sugar,
yep.
stuff like that. So, but
Tea
anyways,
tea is also an excellent source. If you want something hot, like drink something hot in the morning, so grab some tea instead of coffee.
yeah,
As another hack,
yeah.
that you can use for sure, or at least, or even if like it's less caffeine in it too. I mean, but you get a little bit of caffeine especially when you take like black tea or something like that. So
Right. All right. No, now let's talk about losing weight. Now, I'm probably very rare. I'm trying to gain weight, but
yeah,
what foods? Now you're a nutritionist, Magnus, and you're in the business. So, what foods? We'll compare notes here. Would you advise somebody if they wanted to lose weight to eat? Because a lot of people think, well, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to not eat. My thing
yeah.
is, no. You want to eat, but you want to eat the right things so you feel satiated and full, so you don't eat as much. So you want to have more bang for your buck. So, what would be one of the foods you would suggest somebody do eat to lose weight?
Yeah, so let's start it. Like the worst thing people can do is just eat less and less and less and less to start out with. If you're already eating, like the issue is that a lot of people are already eating not that many calories and they still can't lose weight because it's simple. Their metabolism is basically kind of shut down. It's not as efficient. So, like, usually what you first want to do is see that your metabolism is up and running. So you need to kind of move. You need to try to eat quite a lot too. And we're not talking about, oh, I'm eating 1,500 calories. That is not a lot. We're talking about maybe 2,500, and we're talking for females. So you're actually up and eating quite a lot. You are like strength training. You're moving and things like that. So you actually able to burn. So once you actually cut something, like you have something to cut from. If you're eating like 1,500 calories or like 1,300 calories, there's nothing to cut. You're gonna be starving. So and I always like there's a simple rule, and this is something that I picked up from several places. One of the later places that I heard it on a Mind Pump, their podcast, is focus on getting your protein. So we usually say around 1 gram per pound of body weight, or the body weight that you're trying to achieve. So if you're, say for instance, you're 180 pounds and you want to go down to 150, then you're aiming to eat 150 grams per day. And the same thing when if you're trying to gain weight, oh, I'm 180 pounds, I want to go up to 200 pounds, then you're eating at least 200 grams of protein per day. So that's kind of like the basic rule, but definitely hit your proteins.
Yeah, I
The
would.
next, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say anything with omega-3 fatty acids. So, like, if I'm eating what you call it, for instance, salmon or
Yeah,
guacamole, it's got a lot of fat, and fat is not a bad thing, folks. But I want to try to. I think the holy grail is if you're trying to lose weight, you want to consume. I would make, correct me if I'm wrong, but you want to have something that's going to hold you over, that you're not maybe eating as much, but you feel full.
yeah. That's why protein is an excellent source. Trying to eat meat or eggs and things like that. For instance, if I'm gonna try to hit like 200 grams of protein from whole foods, that's a whole lot of food. We're talking about I need to eat around two, I would say around 2 pounds of meat almost to achieve that. And for someone that's like, if you're eating 2 pounds of meat in a day, you don't want to eat that much because it's a lot of chewing, right? To start out with. And then the next thing that I want to, and protein is one of the definitely like the macronutrient that keeps you full and satisfied for a long time. The next thing is fiber. So I would say that most people need around 25 to 35 grams of protein. Oh, I'm sorry, about fibers per day, which is also hard to achieve if you're trying to get it from whole foods.
Right.
Like, yeah, like oatmeal, trying to get seeds in there, trying to get a lot of vegetables and fruit. I mean, like you don't even need to start counting calories unless you're trying to achieve, like if you're trying to go like extremely lean, just trying to lose weight from that, like eating your proteins and eating your fibers,
Yeah.
you will be satisfied, and you probably don't want to eat more than that. And
Yeah.
like you're not going to be, oh, I need to eat a gallon of ice cream on top of this.
No, bad. Yeah, I would also say maybe drink water before you eat, so you feel a little bit full going into something.
Yeah, a lot of people mistake hunger and dehydration, because humans don't really have anything. Well, like when we start to feel dehydrated, it's almost already too late. Then we're definitely dehydrated.
Right.
But you ain't, like, I would say most people, like we're talking about normal, half a gallon to a gallon of water a day. Of course, if it's hotter outside, if you're physically active, you might need more, you might need less. But
Yeah.
usually that's usually like at least what you're trying to get to stay fairly hydrated and okay. I don't really like to eat or drink while I'm eating, because of digestion. It's usually easier to digest your food if you don't drink a lot of fluids that kind of dilute your stomach acid and things like
Oh,
that.
interesting. Yeah.
So I like to stop drinking about like 20 minutes before I start eating, and then wait like half an hour to 40 minutes afterwards before I start drinking again.
Yeah, I find oatmeal helps me to lose weight. Actually, if I have a big, now not oatmeal from the packet, like raw oatmeal, put it on.
Yeah.
That
So that's one of the things. Like overnight oats is one of my like staples right now, because it's easy to grab on the go. You can bring it and wherever. So that's definitely like something, and it's so filling. Like I add protein powder to it, and then some other things to it. I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but there's a good company called Creatures of Habit, spelled with a K, so Creatures with K. They make these like protein oatmeal package that you can do overnight oats. You can cook them, things like that. They contain, I think, like 30 grams of protein in there, and a bunch of fibers and stuff like that, and good carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So and digestive enzymes and vitamin D and things like that. So you get a really kind of nutrient dense bomb in one package right there.
I would advise people too, if you're going to try to lose weight, stay off pills, stay off those specialty drinks. Really do your research. You probably want to really modify and fix what you're eating or what you're not eating. That's the key, because everything else is a band-aid. I'm not against supplements. I take a vegan protein shake every morning, but I put it with whole bananas, whole blueberries, whole stuff like that. So
so that you're basically making a meal and not just a shake. So that's why I always say, I always do protein smoothies too if I do it. And I mean, and also like if you use a lot of like, always try to aim to get mostly like your nutrition from whole foods. If you're using protein powders and things like that, try to rotate different brands and different sources of protein. So whey, it could be pea or it could be brown rice, things like that. Yellow pea, brown rice are good sources. Usually if you're taking a plant-based, you want to have a mixture of them, so you get enough of all the amino acids to kind of help out. But I mean, it's the same thing. Like people that are trying to starve themselves and like just move a lot, it doesn't work. I mean, you need to get your metabolism up and running. And also one thing that you kind of like we brushed upon is like having an exit strategy. Like, what am I doing once my diet is over? When I get to the weight that I want to be, you can't go back to you used to eat, because then you're gonna gain all the weight again. So exit strategy and kind of like going back to maintenance and stuff like that. So you really need to have all these things dialed in. Otherwise that's one of the reasons where a lot of people like fail, because they don't really have the structure to know what to do at the different phases.
And that's why it's important to join a group. There's a lot of groups out there. I'm not endorsing them, but I believe Weight Watchers is that. It's an accountability program.
Yes,
You know,
or a coach, or a
right,
friend, or whatever it is
right.
that you check in with.
Yeah, no, for sure. Excellent advice, Magnus. Now, anything else before we wrap this bad boy up?
No, like again, summer is around the corner, so like again, don't try to go on some crazy diet like liquid diet or water diet for a couple of days or weeks here before you go on vacation. Start planning ahead, so maybe you're in great shape, or whatever you feel like for next summer or so. But like long term is, and health is always more important than just looks.
Yes, well said. Sage advice always, Magnus. Thank you, everybody. Tune back in. Great shows coming up. Like, subscribe. And Magnus, thank you as always.
Thank you, Anthony.
I'm signing us out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.